welcome to another SGM Moment. Thanks for joining me today. We're going to talk about taking trust to a whole new level. And the foundation scripture will be coming out of Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, and I will be reading it from the Amplified version of the Bible. It says, "Lean on, trust in, and be confident in the Lord with all your heart and mind, and do not rely on your own insight or understanding. In all of your ways, know and recognize and acknowledge him, and he will direct and make straight and plan your paths." Trust. Trust is a central part of our human existence, and it's a central part of our human relationships, including romantic, family life, business, politics, healthcare, and many others. If we don't trust our doctors, our lawyers, our therapists, our friends, and our families, we can't trust anyone. It's going to be much harder then to benefit from their advice and continued relationships. If we trust someone, we truly do believe that they are honest and sincere and will not deliberately do anything to hurt us. If we believe that they care for us, then we know that we can trust them. When I was studying this, I found two definitions of human trust. The first one is trust is a set of behaviors, like knowing that that person is acting in a way that you find so dependable. The second is like a feeling of confidence and security. It's like I'm trusting the fact that this chair that I'm sitting in will not collapse under my weight. Just know that we go through this life, that as we go through this life, and as we journey through this life, trust can be fleeting. But Solomon in Proverbs tells us to trust in the Lord, not superficially, but with our whole heart. That means trust with great willingness and pleasure. Trust with the deepest feeling of devotion. Trust with all of our strength and energy. So then, the question then becomes trusting God with what? With your very life, with everything. Everyone experiences disappointments and sadness at various points and times in our lives. And when I look through the Bible, I am reminded of King David. In Psalm 13, David, I believe, demonstrated what it means to trust God in tough times. David had periods of feeling forgotten, forsaken, sorrowful. And David cried out to God for consideration and illumination. But he prayed. But as he prayed, his perspective changed, and he was able to rejoice, even though his circumstances initially did not change. I want to make sure that we do not enter into a place of self-pity. We need to trust God, and that He knows what is best for us. Even when we have hard experiences, that He will use those experiences for our good. There is a verse in Psalm 17 that brings incredible, I believe, hope to David and took his trust to a whole new level. David pleads with God to keep him as the apple of his eye. That is in verse 8. That means that he already knew he was the apple or the pupil, the middle of God's eye. He was only praying to make sure that he stayed there. And we need to do the same thing. We are the pupil, the apple of God's eye, and we need to make sure that we stay there. Now, there are many verses of scripture that can help us with this. Matthew 6:25. "Therefore I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, or about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing?" Romans 8:28. And we know that for those who love God, all things will work together for good, for those who are called according to his purpose. And then there's Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8. Jesus Christ, the same yesterday, today, and forever. People change all the time. Our trust level changes all the time. But God and His love for us does not change. We need to trust God when we have no idea what is going on in our lives. And that means we need to build up our most holy faith. We need to learn to talk things over with God. Don't be afraid to do that. And have faith that He knows what is best for us, even when we are going through the good, the bad, and the ugly. Take your trust to a whole new level. My quote or my thought for you today comes from a lady by the name of Corrie ten Boom. It says, "Never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God." Remember, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, visit my website, and tell somebody. Until next time.